And good morning from South Carolina. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and it's a beautiful day out. I am looking out my window because my office where I record this has windows all around me. I have got 1, 2, 3 windows that go from the floor to the ceiling. And I can look out and I can see flowers in bloom. I can see the trees. I can see bunny rabbits and squirrels eating my flowers. And it's just a beautiful morning. I was thinking about that this morning. I have had 2 houses now that has had porches on it. The first one I had, my mom gave it to me when she passed away, and it was way out in Pickens, South Carolina. You probably know Pickens, South Carolina, because that was where Trump came in to give a speech. Now it's not very tiny. It only has one street down Main Street, and that's just about it. But anyway, so I had this house out there, and it really needed a lot of work, inside and out. So I started with the inside first, got all that done, and then I began doing the outside. Now, it needed something. So I built a porch from one end of the house to the other end of the house. And it was a nice porch. And we would go out there and I would sit and the dogs would come out with me. They'd bark at squirrels and chipmunks. And what you have a porch for is for visiting. There's the old phrase when people pull up to your house, well, we'll come visiting. And so neighbors would come and sit with me on that porch, have coffee, chat, tell stories about other neighbors. You know how it is. That's the Southern way. And you know what, I enjoyed it. So on this house, I have 2 porches. I have one on one side of my office and one on the other side of the office, which comes off my bedroom, and then the other one comes off my kitchen in my office. So I've got 2 doors on both sides of my office here that I can open up, and I get a nice breeze, and it's very, very nice. Very nice. So, as you know, I've talked to you about this before, that I've been out looking for a car to buy, and I came to the conclusion now is not the right time to buy. You know, in the last couple of years, the prices of Ford and Jeep vehicles, I mean, they've just skyrocketed. Well, all vehicles really have skyrocketed, but I'm picking on these 2 because they really went up. Ford went up. I mean, can you imagine spending $90,000, 70 to 90? I've even seen it up to 110 for a Ford truck. And Jeep vehicles have decided that they're going to change their business model and become upper-end vehicles. They're not, but that's what they decide they want to be. So they raise the prices so expensive so that now Ford and Jeep both have and also Chrysler, Dodge, they've got so much inventory sitting on the lots that they're literally sitting there for 90 days, even longer sometimes, because the prices are too high. People cannot go out and get credit. So we've seen this happening over the last 2 years, and those of you who went out and bought $70,000 pickup trucks, you are absolutely nut. You're a nut. You're a nutcase. So, as I'm looking at the prices, this is what I see them doing. Let's say that the MSRP is at $60,000. Now, even that's too high for an MSRP. And you know, at the MSRP, you can negotiate that down. You always can negotiate it down. But what they've been doing is they have been adding extra items on there. So they might add on another $10,000. So let's say if you have a $50,000 car, now you have a $60,000 car. And so when you come in, they say, well, let me see what I can do. Because they've got that $10,000 dealer markup on there. What you do is you should go in and say, listen, let's start at the MSRP because I know what you've done here. You've marked everything up. So let's start at the MSRP number because that's really what we're going to get down to. That $10,000 is just what you marked it up so that you can negotiate it down to MSRP number. So we're seeing that all the time. And if you walk around the dealerships, some don't do it, but most of them have been doing it. And that is the sneaky way to get you down and you're paying MSRP when in fact you should be below MSRP. Now, Ford just announced that they're lowering some of their prices. Still not enough. Ford's recent announcement, I think it was in the last couple of days, just did not do anything to entice anybody to buy a Ford pickup or a Ford anything. So they need to lower the production costs for one thing, and they also need to lower the cost of these cars because right now Americans cannot afford to buy a car. They are heavily in debt. Their cash is about done. By the end of this year, a lot of these Americans are not going to have any cash in their bank. So they cannot go out and buy a car. So Ford and all these other dealers are going to have to come up with some incentives. But still, even those incentives just will not be able to get some sales going. Who in the world will go out when you have very little money in the first place? You have a huge amount of credit card debt, which on average is about $7,000 for Americans is what they currently have on their credit card debt sheet. Who's going to go out and purchase a $70,000 car? Or even a $40,000 or $50,000 car? Just can't do it. So these dealers have really put themselves into a predicament here. Because now they're having to send a lot of their used vehicles to auction. And those things are not going for what they think they should be selling them for. A lot of the cars at the auctions now are from repossessions. If you go in, you'll see Wells Fargo repo cars where people have defaulted on the loans and they're at the auction now. And some of those are not in very good condition, but the used car dealers are buying them because they can turn around, fix them up, and sell them, but not for what Wells Fargo wants to get out of them. So they really, really have a bad situation at the moment. And even EVs, electrical vehicles, they are having a problem too. Inventory is building up on them because they're unable to sell them at the moment. I mean, you know that they are very expensive, these electronic vehicles. So, what do you think needs to happen? Well, let me tell you right now, for you guys, now is not the time to purchase a car or a truck. You can't afford that debt. Prices have to start dropping as cars become inventory sitting way too long on car lots. They have to move them. They just have to move them. They're sitting way too long. And listen, when you have a car sitting on your car lot, that auto dealer is paying interest on that. So that becomes very expensive after a while to have cars just sitting there for 90 days. If you buy now, you will have purchased a car and you're taking on more debt. And the value of that car as it leaves the lot puts you into an upside down financial position. That is stupid if you do that. So wait. I'm waiting. I mean, I need to buy a car because I want to do some traveling. But I'm waiting. Because at some point in time, the banks are going to start yanking these cars and they're going to take them off their lot and send them out to auction so that they can at least recoup a little bit of what they've lost. And that's when you can get a good deal. I would not go to any place like CarMax or anything. CarMax does not negotiate on prices. They are a fixed price, and that's what you're going to pay. Unless you've got excellent credit and you're bringing in cash. Even then, even with cash, they're not negotiating at all. So when you see a $20,000 car, that's what you're going to pay, is $20,000. So the car industry at the moment is in trouble. The banks that hold those notes on those cars are in trouble. They have been repossessed, and the repossession numbers go up more and more every single day. Now, I don't know what Jeep was thinking to change their business model from an everyday man's car or woman's car and think that they were going to be high-end vehicles and then mark their prices up to high-end vehicles. Jeep is not known to be a Lexus. Jeep is not known to be a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW. They're just not. But that's what they have their prices jacked up to. And their lots are full of inventory. Even the lowest cost Jeep is going for about $40,000 to $50,000. And that's the smallest one. So I don't know what was in their mind. Jeep is not known for being a luxury vehicle. It's known for being a vehicle that you go off-roading with, you get it beat up a little bit, you put on those high wheels, and you look cool. And you really use it for moving stuff and transporting stuff and taking the dog out for a walk and getting the dog all dirty. That's what Jeep is known for. It's a human car and how we use it as a human. Now, BMW is a little bit different. BMW has all the bells and whistles that you buy extra for. But it's not a Jeep. So I do not know what Jeep is thinking. I think they need to get their heads out of the clouds and come down to where the common American human being lives and what they have been using that Jeep for in the past. And then they will turn around, lower the pricing, and then you'll be back in line with where Americans are at the moment. Broke. But at least they've got a new car at a lower price. Now, I don't know when Americans are going to get into a stable cash flow again. It's going to be a long haul here. Because what you're being told right now is a lie about the economy. We have lots of bankruptcies going on. We have lots of lending red flags for the banking industry. We have defaults going on major commercial properties, and they're turning it back. I mean, we've talked about this all before. I'm not telling you anything new. But this economy is not a strong economy. You can't just look at the employment market, and you just can't look at the CPI. There's a whole bigger story than those two numbers. And we're going to see some problems. We're going to see more problems in the banking side. I guarantee it. So, I am sitting here. I look at the cars every day to see what the up and down numbers are. And sooner or later, I'll be able to buy a car. But not until the prices come down. I'm not spending $40,000 to $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 on a car that I'm going to use every single day. Listen, this is Michael Lodge. I am the business advisor. If you would like to have an appointment with me, you can book me online at www.lodge-co.com. If you have a business question, send it to me at thebusinessadvisor@gmail.com. Everybody go out and have a great day. Find me a car, guys. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye.